Okay, analytico. Dios te bendiga.
Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti.
Ishvaro
Gururasmeti.
Murti Veda Vibhagine.
Murti Veda Vibhagine.
Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya.
Vyomavadyapta Dehaya.
Dakshinamurtaye Namaha.
Dakshinamurtaye Namaha.
Sadashivasamārambhām.
Sadashivasamārambhām.
Shankaracharya Madhyamām.
Shankaracharya Madhyamām.
Asmadacharya Paryantam.
Asmadacharya Paryantam.
Vande Guru Paramparam.
Vande Guru Paramparam.
Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahana Bhunaktu.
Sahana Bhunaktu.
Saha Viryam Karavavahai.
Saha Viryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavaditamastu.
Tejasvinavaditamastu.
Ma vidvishavahaihi.
Ma
Vidvishavahai.
Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
Parthaya Pratibodhita Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam.
Om
Parthaya
Pratibodhitam
Bhagavata
Narayanena Swayam.
Vyasena Gratitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam.
Vyasena Gratitam Puramunina Madhye Mahabharatam.
Advaitamrutavarshiniം Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യാyi.
Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashaധ്യാyini.
Ambatvamanusandathami Bhagavat Gite Bhavatveshinim.
Ambatvamanusanradhami Bhagavati Te Bhavatveshini.
Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarutastunvanti Divyaistavaihi.
Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarutastunvanti Divyaistavaihi.
Vedai Sangapadakramo-upanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha.
Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha.
Dhyanavastita गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यै योगिनः
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति योगिनः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यौ समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते. We have seen this verse, but still I think again we can share. And one thing, I have got one new idea. That's why I think I would like to share with you. Yogastha Kuru Karmani, Bhagavan has says to Arjuna, you do your karma with Yogastha. And the meaning of Yogastha means with proper attitude. In karma and yoga, karma means to do karma, either to do karma, to perform karma, or another meaning of karma also to receive the result of our own karma. The result of our own action, both are considered in karma yoga karma only, because what we are receiving is only from mind, and what we experience in mind is also manasa karma only. That's why in karma yoga, the meaning of karma is how to do karma and how to receive karma, both include in karma. Then what is yoga? The meaning of yoga according to, can you hear me? No problem.
It's a little bit low, Swaminiji, for me.
It is low, but today something I have tried, I called that internet. Is
It's
it
very feeble, Swaminiji.
Yeah, it is kind of feeble.
what can I do now? Even
Is there a microphone there? Separate microphone?
I think I should start with that microphone. I don't have that type of microphone, but I will purchase now.
We can hear you, but it's very low.
So if I should shout little bit, I should shout then, no? Little bit high voice. So the meaning of yoga is written by our Shankaracharya ji in his Bhashya, means attitude, the only attitude. And the meaning of attitude is also how to do karma as a puja. What I am doing is nothing, but my offering to Ishvara is a puja. And I am receiving each and every karma phalam is a prasada. So this is called yoga, attitude. So remain in proper attitude, karmani kuru, that we have seen. And then he has written, Bhagavan says, sangatyaktva, having given up attachment. Sangha means attachment. And then Shankaracharya has written, what is the meaning of sangam? So he says, that type of attachment or thinking a karma yogi should have been given up because of my karma yoga attitude. Krishna or Ishvara should pleased with me. That type of thinking also tyaktva. So then he is a discuss, Puja Swamiji discuss, I didn't read proper this our Swamiji's book. But then we say, what is the Chitta Shuddhi? Because always we are thinking, we are doing karma yoga for what? Chitta Shuddhi. But here, if Bhagavan says that type of thinking you should not have, only you just perform karma. So how can we get Chitta Shuddhi if we don't ask Bhagavan? Because we cannot ask even you please with us. So we can't ask also, okay, please do our Chitta Shuddhi. Then how can we get our Chitta Shuddhi? So what we have thinking, or I was discussing, is like a byproduct. In manufacturing, there is two things happens. One main product, what we want in factory, and another comes as a byproduct. Same way, some medicine. If we have headache, we take, but if we have some body ache, it's also go. It's called byproduct of that medicine. Same way, what is the byproduct of karma yoga? It says the byproduct is chitta shuddhi. While performing karma yoga, we should not have any type of desire. Let my chit become shuddha, be pure, or even Ishvara should not be pleased. That type of thinking, that karma yogi should not do. So how can chitta shuddhi will come? So is written, I think this is my thinking, it will come automatically, is a byproduct. Because now we are not attaching with even karma or karma phala, so immediately our mind becomes samatvam, balance, and that balance, day by day, it will become more and more balanced, and one day will come, we never care about siddhi, asiddhi. And even here also, the meaning of siddhi means some success, and asiddhi means some failure. Here also, Shankaracharya is written, we should not think about siddhi like, let my chit become pure. That siddhi, I don't care, and even why my chit not become pure. That type of thinking one should not think about. If we give up this type of thinking, then only samaha bhutva. What we become, that balance, and that in balance our mind is called yoga. So everywhere when yoga comes, the meaning of yoga is proper attitude. Even yoga karma su kaushalam. At that time, Bhagavan also used yoga. Here also samatvam. But here Bhagavan is talking about at emotional level. Because at two level we are doing karma, one at a mind level, and whenever we do karma with thoughtful, we use our buddhi. I have to do. We use our intellect, buddhi. So samatvam with is reference to mind, while intellect with reference to yoga, karma, su kaushala. At both level, we need proper attitude. So yoga means proper attitude. While receiving, siddhi comes, let it be, my mind become pure, or let it not be. Whatever, my mind become not pure, I am not that much affected, samahabhutva. That's why I start thinking, because previous, in our mind, karma yoga, always we are doing with for chitta shuddhi. But even Shankaracharya has not written, we should think of chitta shuddhi. So how can chitta shuddhi come? Then only byproducts. Even unknowingly it will come, because it's a byproduct, but we are not care about. Then it is only real karma yoga in Bhagavan's thinking. So that's why I thought, let me again repeat this, because nowadays also I'm teaching here also. So at that time this idea comes, byproduct. Before this, I have already taken this verse, but that byproduct idea doesn't come. But I think even Shankaracharya is written in Bhashyam, then how can Chitta Shuddhi will come? Then only one way. Bhagwan will be, he will happy, but we should not think about Bhagwan should happy with me. At that much level, our mind should be matured. So this is the meaning of 40th verse. Samatvam yoga uchyate, but with proper attitude, do both karma, performing karma and receiving phalam, karma phalam, but even sangam tyaktva. The meaning sangam, let Ishwar please with me. That sangam given up, and siddhi means my mind should be pure, and asiddhi means why Bhagwan has not made my mind pure. That type of failure we should not think about. It's called samahabhutva. Then only, otherwise we have complained with Lord also. Because we have complained everywhere. So we start complaining with Lord also. Why? I do keep on karma yoga. Why my mind is not pure? That's why Bhagwan, I think Shankaracharya is written, let it be. It will come as a byproduct. We should not worry. We should not also anxiety about karma yoga or chitta shuddhi also. That's why. So this one more. And another thing that we have seen everything. Next to this, because in the second chapter, I'm thinking only three topics, but two topics are more important. One is a Sankhya from 11th chapter up to 25th verse, and then from 40th verse up to before Sthita Prajna. All, and particularly Karmani start up to 50th verse. All verses are very important. For Karma Yogas, if we look at Karma Yoga, that's why I thought already 1 week or I think 15 days past what we have learned. So let it be once repetition of these verses. That's why I have taken again. So 49th verse. Durena yavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharaнаmanvichcha krupana phalahetavaha. Here also buddhi yogat avaram karma durena. The meaning of buddhi yoga is also karma yoga. Bhagwan has written, the meaning is our karma yoga, and karma and yoga means proper attitude. So in buddhi, when we start thinking, I will perform karma with proper mind, it's called buddhi. And I'm receiving karma phalam with proper, it's also called buddhi. So here buddhi is equal to karma and yoga means yoga. So karma yoga, Bhagwan says, buddhi yoga means karma yoga, avaram karma. All other karma are avaram, means inferior, and they are far away from karma yoga. And Bhagwan says why this avaram karma is inferior, because most of people are after the result of whatever they have done. That's why is avaram. Really speaking, vara, I don't know, but in our marriage in Gujarati, when bridegroom we call varaha. In South, I don't know, but the meaning of vara means the great or greatest, great person. That's why vara is called great for one day. While in marriage, I don't know, but they call as a varaha, but one who is not great. Opposite of great is avara. So buddhi yoga compared to buddhi yoga means compared to karma yoga, this avaram karma means this inferior karma, which always with thinking of karma phala is kavaram, and it is far away from karma yoga. with thinking of mind result, one who performs karma, it is far away from. So this is comparison. This fifth, all us all know something grammar, no? So this is fifth case, and here fifth case is used as a comparison. Compared to karma yoga, other karma are inferior. That's why Bhagavan says, Buddho Sharanam Anvicha. The meaning of Anvicha means seek. May you seek what? Sharanam, a refuge, where here also Buddha means Karma Yoga, and particularly proper attitude. And you please seek refuge in Karma Yoga, proper attitude, because in proper attitude, we are not after karma, we are not after even result of karma. We are only doing karma for doing sake. I am performing karma for performing sake. I am not interested even doing karma, or even I am not interested in result also. But it's my duty. So whatever I am doing is just offering to Ishvara, so I will do in the best way. But still, I am not interested in anything else. It's called Buddha Sharanam Anvicha. So Bhagavan says, please you take or seek refuge to Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, while others, one who are not performing Karma Yoga, they are considered as a Krupanaha, because they are after Phalahetavaha. They are only after the result, the cause of result. What should I do? Then I can get best result. That such person are called Krupanaha. And according to Bhagavan, or according to Upanishad, there is a one mantra in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. You might have heard, Etad Aksharam Aviditva Asmat Lokat Pretya Saha Krupana. Well famous one line in Brihadar Yagyavalkya told to Gargi while discussing. He says, a person who left this world without knowing oneself, that person considered as Krupanaha, miser. And why miser? Because generally miser never use money. They always keep in the shelf or account. They were, even for herself or himself, they never use. Same way, a human being having got a good body as a human being, that person are not using human body to know Ishvara. Such person is called Krupanaha. Having got this precious human being body, we are not using to know oneself. According to Shastra, that person also called miser. That's why here the meaning of miser is that person is always indulged in word entertainment. He never goes after Chitta Shuddhi. So Bhagavan says, others all are miser, while karma yogis always seek surrender in karma yoga. That way. And now another definition of yoga, karma yoga, will come, which is also very famous, that we all have seen. So I don't like to discuss. But this one, 50th. So 48th verse and 50th verse consider very important. Even karmaniya vadhikaraste. So this one is Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Here also yoga karmasu kaushalam. But before that, buddhi yuktaha. Again, the meaning of buddhi means proper attitude. With karma yoga, one who performs karma yoga with proper attitude, that person jahati. The meaning of jahati means give up. he or she gives up. What? तो के ऊबे. The meaning of ube means both. A person with karma yoga attitude, that person is not interested in both. So he gives up both sukruta and duskruta. The sukruta means sushtu karma, good karma, and performing good karma, one gets its called punyam. And another is called dushkrita by performing some wrong action. One who gets its called dushkrita means papa. I used to say karma, when we do karma, we can give two things. One is drushta phalam and another is adrushtam phalam. When we performing good karma, we feel good inside. That is called drushta phalam. But performing good karma, we will get adrushtam also. It's called punya. While performing some wrong action, at that time also we never feel good. To hurt one, we are never steal something, but we sometimes we hurt another person. At that time also we never feel good. But that is called drushtapalam, but we will get also papam for that karma also. It's called adrushtam. So here sukrut and dushkruta means punya and papa called adrushtam. But karma yogi who performing this karma yoga or action, that person gives up all. I can also say he is not or she is not interested in even punya and papa, because while we are performing, if we love Ishvara, if we have total devotion to Ishvara, so we never care about punya also. We never do papa, but we never interested in punya. I am doing puja for puja's sake, not for punya. Punya will buy product again. But while we are performing any karma with Ishvara, with 100% devotion, if we think I need punya out of this, then it is not devotion. This is one type of business. So even each and every action or whatever we do for Ishvara is only out of devotion, then we can give up punya and papa. And for karma yogi, devotion is only not in temple. For karma yogi, each and every karma is puja for that person. That's why that person is not interested in punya and papa. That's why Bhagavan says, buddhi yuktaha jahati. Here, iha means asmin loke. In this word, that karma yogi, he is not interested in papam and punyam. Tasmat, Bhagavan says, for that reason, yogaya yujyasva. You please start karma yoga. You commit yourself for proper attitude. Bhagavan never say karma yoga. He always say yoga. So here the meaning of yoga is again proper attitude. In Bhagavan again this new definition, yoga karmasu kaushalam. Because in karma we have adhikara. Karmani eva adhikara means we have choices in with regards to karma. And which karma should I do needs buddhi. That's why I say samatvam yoga uchyate is always connected with mind, while yoga karmasu kaushalam is connected with our buddhi. And if we choose proper karma, then it's called yoga. Here, really speaking, the meaning of kaushalam means which type of action you choose. It's called kaushalam. Here, Pujya Swami is a discretion, but our expertise. that Puja Swamiji's that well famous story, that thief met Puja Swamiji. It's a long story, so everybody knows. So I don't like to discuss. But to select proper karma is called kaushalam. Somebody says, I will steal everything, but I am doing with devotion, everything I will offer to Ishvara. Then this is not kaushalam. But to choose proper action or karma, it's called kaushalam. So really speaking, which karma to be done for each and every person during life. So that's why I have shown one chart. But this one, this we have seen, but I am interested in this kaikam we have seen. What is sattvic karma, what is rajas karma, and what is tamas karma. Selfless actions are called sattvic karma. Selfish actions are called rajas karma, and to hurt someone. So I have written tamasic karma is harmful action. To hurt someone is called tamasic karma. So in karma yoga, which karma we should perform? Sattva, rajas or tamas? Tamasic is we hurt someone and we enjoy. So we can't do in karma yoga. Then again, rajas karma, we always doing for ourselves. Selfish are also not considered as a rajas karma. Then in karma yoga, which karma we can do? So okay, sattva karma. So in sattva karma also, what are karma to be done by karma yogi? That's why I have shown a person can do 5 types of karma in day-to-day life. These are given by Shastra only, and we have discussed also. There is one karma is called, this is called Nitya karma. And Nitya karma means daily duties. These are prescribed by scriptures only. Nitya karma means our day-to-day duty as a father, as a husband, as an employee, whatever we are doing are called Nitya karma. Another karma is called Naimittik karma. In Naimittik karma, so having kept some occasion, special occasion, childbirth, we can say some Upanayana sanskara, during marriage also some rituals to be done are called Naimittik karma. Having nimitta kept in mind. So nimitta is childbirth, even some passed away. If somebody is expired, at that time also, this 12th day ceremony, 13th day ceremony are all called Naimittik karma. Is the second karma prescribed by scriptures. Third one is called Kamya karma. The meaning of Kamya karma is whatever we like, that karma only we do. I would like to go out something for weekends. It's called I need this. So all karmas which are based on our likes and dislikes are called Kamya karma. What we like, we keep with us. What we don't like, we keep aside. Such karma are called Kamya karma. Fourth one are called Pratishiddha karma. Another is Nishiddha karma, not to be done. And what are not to be done? It says even Satyam Bruyat Priyam Bruda Priyam, opposite to it, that should not be done. Suppose he say Satyam Bruyat, then Asatyam Ma Bruyat. So Asatyam Ma Bruyat is called Pratishiddha karma. Kalanjam na bhakshayat. One should not eat meat. One should not drink liquor. All are given by our Shastra. It's called Pratishiddha karma or Nishiddha karma. And lastly, Prayashchitta karma. If unknowingly we have made mistake, And to neutralize our papa karma, what we are doing, it's called prayashchit karma. Shastra says which type of karma we should do in karma yoga. So Bhagavan says you should do only first one, nitya karma, naimittik karma. When some occasion arises, at that time we can do even perform naimittik karma. Possible you avoid kamya karma. Bhagavan says pratichit karma we never do. And if by mistake he committed some mistake, then prayashchit karma sometime okay. But generally, we should do only two, either nitya and naimittik. So what are nitya then? So for nitya, Bhagwan has given again for all grihastha, means for each and every householder, Bhagwan has given nitya karma. We have seen this. I think many are missing during that class, but we have seen these karmas. One is called Deva Yagna. So we should give, actually, Yagna is not some fire rituals according to Shastra or Gita, but Yagna is written in third chapter, Bhashyam, Yagno vai Vishnu. Really speaking, Yagna is nothing but Vishnu. And what is Vishnu? So it says, Vyapakat. Vyapakat Vishnu, one who is all pervading, are called Vishnu. So for that, Ishvara, we should give our quality time to say, Ishvara, to thank you for giving his beautiful life. So what we are doing, whatever prayers are called Deva Yagna. So to say thankfulness, we are very thankful to you. It's called Deva Yagna. So another, we are indebted to our fathers, means our parents. So for them, whatever we are giving our due respect to our elders are called Pitru Yagna. We should give both. Even if person is married, so they have both have two parents. One is for person and another is spouse. Both we give due respect are called Pitru Yagna. Third one is called Brahma Yagna. The meaning of Brahma Yagna is whatever we know, the knowledge of scripture, whatever we know, what is given in Gita, we should hand over that jnanam to our next generation. Is called Brahma Yagna. It says there are parallel two are going on. One is Guru Shishya Parampara and another is father son, father and their whatever children. Their children again become father mother, again children. It's called one Gruhastha Parampara and one is Sadhu Parampara. And both are very responsible. They should hand over their gnanam, scriptures gnanam, to another generation. It's called Brahma. Here the meaning of Brahma means Veda. And Yagna means Veda Yagna. We should give knowledge, our culture, to another next generation. It's called Brahma Yagna. And fourth one is called Manushya Yagna. A human being should help society without, because that person is not alone living in earth, he is living in society. So a person should help another human being It's called Manushya Yagna. And there are many karmas are available, but I prefer this karma. Is written Vapi Kupa Tadagadi. One has to build whatever money we have is, but one has to build for society. At that time, Vapi means a well, but with steps. It's called Vapi. Here in Gujarat, there are many Vapis are available. So we have to go down with steps inside the well. It's called Vapi. Kupa means well. So at that time, no dam, no river always dry when summer will come. So they keep ready everything. This Vapi, Kupa means well, Tadaga means pond, small pond. They keep ready. They save water. Adi means etc. One who built for others. It's called Manushya Yagna, even Devata Ayatanani cha. The meaning of Devata Ayatanani means a temple for Ishvara. Small temple. But we need a temple. Another thing is Anna Pradhanam. We should give food to our Atithi, whatever they required. Anna Pradhanam Aramaha. Nowadays, hotels are available. But in olden times, when pilgrimages are going by foot, there is no vehicle. So they have to take rest somewhere, no, while going. So there are many, in Hindi they call chattis. Even I don't know what is called in our English. But from Rishikesh to, if you are going to Badrinath, small open house where we can cook, we can have small rest, and again we can move away. Is there small house, open house? It's called Aramaha. So we can give rest to passengers, to yatris, to pilgrimages are all called Purta Karma, or it's called Manushya Yagna, to help human being. Even I used to say, whatever expertise, whatever skill we have, but we can help to society, it's called Manushya Yagna. And last one is called Bhuta Yagna. The meaning of Bhuta means accept human being or else whatever jivas, for them we should do something. Nowadays we say environmental, we have to protect our environment, but in our scriptures we always protect, because always we used to say water the plants. We used to say you keep feed ants, in south. This column is nothing but Bhuta Yagna. Here also we offer some to ants, but different type of use powder of biscuits we always offer. So this type of we help others being are called Bhuta Yagna. These all are considered as in Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam. Which karma I should choose? For Karma Yoga also, this Bhagavan says, and accept, and also our daily duties, responsibilities are called Nitya Karma. And then if you perform karma, what I am doing is only puja. It's called Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam. So this word, Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam, means to choose proper karma. Which karma should I do? So it's called, otherwise any thief, any pocket man, they can say, I have still everything, but I have done with the offering to Ishvara. Whatever come is a prasada. So it's very wrong. So what is Kaushalam? So we can choose perfect, good karma for our karma yoga. So Nitya karma, Naimetik karma, And in also Nitya Karma, all Panch Mahayagna plus our day-to-day duty, we should do with offering as a puja, offering to Ishvara, are called Yoga Karma Sukhaushala. And that's why Bhagavan says, yes, just you commit yourself for this beautiful Karma Yoga, you just work. Then person can ask, how far I have to do this Karma Yoga? We always question, no? How far we have to commit this? Then Bhagavan says that we will see tomorrow. But Bhagavan answer, what is the result of Karma Yoga? Is given in 51st. Karma jam buddhi yukta hi phalan tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padangacchantya. But the meaning of this verse we will see tomorrow. Any question regarding this? One thing. Unmute. Any question? Now clear question. Any question about Karma Yoga? No question.
So, Swaminiji, my question was about the Kamya Karma, but you already answered. But I thought Kamya Karma we should completely avoid doing it, right? Otherwise, we will be like churning around with samsara only. Correct?
Yeah, correct. But it is,
Then why he is talking about Kamya Karma, also one of the karmas?
because generally we are doing
We
only
should do.
Karma. Because
No, we should try to avoid it, right? That's what we should
yeah,
do.
we can
Correct?
avoid, but still, when we think we are doing only Kamya Karmas, whatever we like, we do. That's why I say, please avoid. Generally, we try to avoid, but still, we give perform more preference to whom? It is not wrong also. Little bit we can give important. 100% being a householder, we can't avoid.
Even the other karmas we do, like deva yajna, pitru yajna, whatever the naimittika karmas. That also, if we like and do it, that becomes a kamya karma. Correct?
No, but the naimittik karma, no, we have to perform. It's only on some occasion we have to do. We should not avoid naimittik karma. One voice. We should not avoid. We should not avoid only. We have to perform. Whether we like it, whether we don't like it. We have to perform naimittik karma. But we can avoid kamya.
So, Swaminiji, like even along the same lines of Naimittika Karma, Nitya Karma, which is probably the most important aspect of karma, because that's what we do every day.
Yeah.
In that sense, even Nitya Karma can be done as a avaram karma, right? If we don't have the proper attitude, in the sense of I am doing it for the well-being of my company or my colleagues, or helping other people, so as to not doing it for the sake of my own glory and name and fame, right? Because this is the area where I struggle, because this is the most relevant thing for me that how I perform Nitya Karma, how I perform my duty.
Yeah.
Um, even like, I think there was a question last time that Mehtaji was asking, like, even when I sit down and discipline my children or teach my children,
This is what.
what is my attitude when I do that?
Yeah.
Um,
So what?
is it that, I want my children to do well because then I will look good, or I am doing it because it is good for them?
Yeah. If we think oppositely, then it is not good. Do for myself, I'm doing them, not for themselves, their sake. Then it's a totally opposite attitude. There are some parents also, they would like to show off to others. How we keep our children disciplined is also not good.
Ah, yes. Yes. Yes, they belittle you. They say, "Oh, your children don't know all these shlokas." you know.
I know there are many parents are like that. Whenever they come in front of a sannyasi and some sadhu, immediately they ask, start chanting some shloka. They would like to impress, us, how we are teaching them. I think it's freeze again.
Also, Swamiji, the point you made initially at the beginning about that even to please Ishvara should not be your goal.
This is a
That is a very high standard, actually.
it is a lead high to very, very, very maturity. We need very matured mind. Always
Because
otherwise.
you're already pure, I think. If you have that kind of attitude, it's already pure.
I think it may become, if we love Ishvara, if we have devotion to him, then we never think he should please. Just I'm
Yes.
doing out of
Yes.
love only, out of devotion, not to please.
So this is like Shankaracharya's Bhashya, and then the way you've explained it. I don't see a difference between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. I think they are the same.
Yeah, that's why I said there is no separate Bhakti Yoga. In Karma Yoga,
Yeah.
Bhakti Yoga comes only. Without devotion, we can't perform Karma Yoga. Without understanding Ishvara, we can't perform Karma Yoga. So first,
Yeah, this is actually important, Swaminiji, because I have always heard some people argue, like from a humanistic, moralistic point of view, even they say it doesn't matter whether you are an atheist or theist or whatever, as long as you perform actions for the well-being of the society. It is so you don't have to bring in the concept of Ishvara and higher power, and but this doesn't seem to corroborate that kind of a.
it doesn't look relevant also, Otherwise, it gives arrogance in our mind. Okay, what I am doing, for society. I am not caring about Ishvara. Then this type of thinking can give arrogance. Our mind becomes arrogant. Buddhi becomes arrogant. So without devotion, I think we cannot even go further in Karma Yoga. First step, to understand Ishvara and then start to develop some love, start loving to deity, then we can perform each and every karma as a Karma Yoga.
Because in the Western society, or people that are sort of intellectual people, that I've read several books where there is the argument that people gravitate towards Zen Buddhism because it doesn't necessarily invoke the concept of God. and so you could be a, you could have spiritual growth, but without the concept of God.
Spiritual growth cannot be possible without emotional growth. And for emotional growth, we need Ishvara. They don't know this. They think now our spiritual growth will be high, but it next impossible without EQ.
Swamiji, the emotional growth is from bhakti. Is that what you're saying?
Emotional growth,
Emotional growth is with bhakti.
yeah, but emotional growth means our mind should be balanced, and our mind will be balanced only we have Ishvara with us. Without Ishvara, we may become arrogant, like Zen philosophy sometimes, if we are not alert properly. But with Ishvara, we need not to worry much, because Ishvara will take care. Whatever I am doing for Ishvara, whatever I am receiving from Ishvara, and whatever come Ishvara, because I am ready to accept happily, because I love Ishvara. Then emotional growth will come, emotional maturity will come, EQ will come. And without EQ, how can SQ possible?
So it's a step-by-step process.
Yeah, it is step-by-step process only. They miss the. That's why Puja Swami says this sentence or slogan, bring Ishvara in your life. This is very, very meaningful, because he thought out everything. Why people are so empty, even doing everything. That's why.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes. Because I think Swamiji, you're absolutely correct that even the great rishis and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, everyone stress the importance of bhakti so much. Because in these other paths, like the Zen path, it is easy to go wrong. I think you can.
Even we without our if we are not alert, no, when we misguide, when we will go, we don't know. We need something to hold on when we in the beginning, in this path. And Ishvara is that on whom we can hold on. And we accept Upanishad as a pramana, even Gita as a pramana, this means of knowledge. Then whatever given in Gita, we have, whatever Krishna says in Gita, then we need not to worry. If in 10th chapter Bhagavan says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam, then Bhagavan will take care. He will give me buddhi yoga, gnana yoga. I need not to worry. And then they have to worry when gnana will come. And we have no problem. He automatically is a byproduct, it will come. This is.
As Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, I have given the power of attorney to the mother,
Yeah, he will take care, yeah.
So now it is her problem, not my problem.
Yeah, this is Bhagwan's problem. That's the thing.
So bhakti is for holding on. It's like we need something to hold on to initially, so we don't go off track. So is that what bhakti is for?
Yeah, something, if we have some trust upon Lord, if we start, I don't know how to develop, but if we start chanting japa, so slowly we will develop some attachment.
Through Guru's guidance.
Yes, we
Through
have
Guru's guidance, Swamiji.
bondage with Ishvara. Yeah.
Swaminiji, I mean, I don't think of bhakti as a device to, prop you up or say. I think of bhakti as the most essential thing. It is, it is sufficient in and of itself. That
Even if we have 100% bhakti, even we need not to worry about jnana also. That will be taken care by Ishvara. What Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, power of attorney is given to Ishvara. And when
But-
more and more we appreciate Ishvara, like in whole nature, then we have more and more reverence, respect, love towards Ishvara. How to develop, somebody say how to develop love towards Ishvara. So more and more we appreciate our nature, how much Ishvara has provided us. Then we can develop some bhakti.
Swami TV quotes a story of Bishop of Genoa. Someone went to him and asked, I don't know how to love God, so how should I start? You know?
Ah.
And the bishop says, oh, you just start by loving God. Then he says, that's what I'm asking you. How do I start? He says, oh, you just go and sit in front of God and say, God, I want to love you, And then he says, but I don't know how to do that. He says, there is no how to do it. It's like, how does a kid learn to walk? you know? Uh,
It
so
makes
you just start. Somehow you start. God knows your heart's desire and he will take you in the path.
So that's why I'm telling, no, if we start appreciating,
Ah,
Bhagavan has given free of charge this space. Bhagavan has given free of charge breathe, oxygen. Bhagavan has given water. Whatever Bhagavan has not given to us. If Bhagavan has taken away some air from us, how can we survive? Bhagavan has given us. Whenever we think, everywhere Bhagavan is there.
Yeah.
More we appreciate Ishvara in nature, more we develop love.
yeah, even I read this somewhere, to start with, as a first step, thank God daily in the morning and the night for the day He has given. So get into that cycle first and then improve, fine tune yourself for thanking God and love God towards.
And also ask, why should I say thanks? That's why we start appreciating whatever you have given us. No, how much you have given us. Even sometimes you come in India and we if we are in some slum area, when we see the kids, then also we can say how much we are lucky.
Right.
Good parents, good space, good dish, everything. We can appreciate Ishvara. We are thankful.
Yeah.
Even for every day's food and shelter, we should appreciate God.
Yeah, I think, a bhakta sees only grace of God everywhere.
Yeah.
As Swaminiji said, I think it's very easy to be grateful, but it's also very easy for us to be ungrateful.
So no question now? Any question? Yesterday, you want to ask? Shall we do Purnamada?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Om
Namada
Purnamidam
Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya
Purnamyeva
Purnameva
Vasishyate
Vashyate
Om Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Hari
Hari
Om
Om
Shri
Shri
Gurubhyo
Gurubhyo
Namaha
Namaha Hari
Hari
Om